Everybody, welcome to the stream. Me, Parker Ray, Jake Gordon here. We're going to answer some DeFi questions, go over our opinions on the market right now, how DeFi is performing, whether or not you should be getting involved in DeFi at the current moment, or maybe just sitting on your hodl bags, or if it's a good time to take profit. So we're just going to touch base on a bit of everything, maybe introduce a weekly live stream, Sunday live streams to whoever is available and wants to watch. These should be posted afterwards as well. So if you're wanting to watch at a later date, that'll be fine. But yeah, we're basically just going to get into it. Hopefully some live questions come into. It'll give us something fun to talk about, a little more engaging than just the regular old videos. So real-time answers.
Okay.
You locked in over there?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of questions with DeFi, right? A lot of people get scared of fucking impermanent loss. A lot of people get scared of fucking, what assets to hold, and then they hold fucking a shit coin and get the boss token, for example, right? That was paying 1,000,000% APY against Solana, right? But it lasted one day, and what happened? You were sucked into boss and you lost all your coins.
Yeah.
So I think that the biggest people's problem is they think that like it's not, they can't win, right? Impermanent loss, etc. That's what I've seen on my side with starting this new channel. People are scared of impermanent loss and they don't think it's worth it, or the price goes up on the other side.
So, yeah, we actually we got a comment right now here. Can you go into the differences between VFAT DeFi farming using farms or pools? Says they notice on wide ranges ETH to USDC, the APY is much lower than a wide range of ETH to USDC for liquidity pools. Does that make sense to you? Can you see the comment on your live stream as well? That one might have came through on my stream there.
Because you're more famous now in this channel. I can't see anything on my end, to be honest.
Yeah, asking about the differences between farming and or pools. Essentially, so I can even just go to VFAT here real quick. When you're, let me share my screen real quick too.
How do I see your chat as well, though? I can't see that.
If you pulled it up my stream on the side.
It's all right. If you get one, just read it. I don't care.
Yeah, I'll just read it out to you. We'll dial in. We'll get better at this over time.
Maybe. If people think quality content was coming in stream one, you got another thing coming, boys. It's not good.
So the biggest difference between farms and pools, right, is that from when you're running pools, you're getting paid directly from the actual swap fee. Whereas when you're running farms, you're being incentivized to provide liquidity. So you're actually technically being bribed. You're getting a reward token. So the reason a wider range might be lower in a farm versus a pool would just depend on what the incentivized rate is. The more you spread out, you're competing with, for example, let's look at this. On a farm, for instance, people might just be generally going wider, so you're going to have a bigger active TVL. Whereas if you're running a pool, maybe everyone's running tighter, so there's people that are going to get knocked out of range, and the actual active TVL, which is what is actively in range, could be lower. So without looking specifically at the range and pool, it would be a little hard to know for sure. But different pools, specifically like the different pool IDs, they'll have different active TVLs. So what you'll notice is that whenever people's common ranges get blown through, like for example, when the market was moving crazy the last couple of days, let's just look at Ethereum, this right here, you'll see that 3,800 to 4,800, for example, that's in my range right here. So if a bunch of people got knocked out at, let's say, under 4K and they were out of range, the active TVL would have tremendously dropped, not a lot of active TVL, and then I become a bigger piece of that pie. So then my APR would shoot through the roof maybe, whereas in a different situation, if everyone's going wide, I'm still a smaller piece of the pie because everyone's staying in range. So, it's a little hard to explain without actually seeing the specific position, but if you maybe had a little more detail on it, I could break it down a little more. But also just the difference between farms and pools. Farming, you're actually out there trying to earn a reward. So for example, like all the black hole pools where you're getting paid in the black token itself, you're being bribed and rewarded for providing liquidity. And then pools, you're directly actually getting that swap fee from the consumer. So a little different, but at the end of the day, it's going to perform very, very similar for you. You got anything on that at all, Jake?
Nah? Absolutely not. What a good explain. Absolutely not. That was good.
Not too bad.
Okay.
And what were you saying beforehand? You were talking about impermanent loss, Jake. What were you saying?
Well, that's what I see on my side of this brand new YouTube channel, right? It's like, what about impermanent loss? What happens if this asset goes down? just stuff like that. I'm sure you see that. I mean, that's
Yeah,
all
what's
really.
your thoughts on that? Do you have a hot take on it, or you want me to give mine?
Hmm. I think it depends if it's asset to asset, if it's assets you believe in, where are we going in the market, and if you're in a full range pool, etc. So, I mean, everybody, like, your probably stance is the same as mine, right? Like, we hold assets we want to get more of, if that's Ethereum, Sui, Solana, whatever. Obviously, are you still in black?
Yeah, still some black hole exposure.
Okay. Did you go in Zora as well or no?
I have not gotten that one, no.
Okay. Okay. What are you in right now? Solana pills or what?
I have 3 Solana pools still going. I believe I had one with Zeus. I have one with Useless still that I'm just fucking around with, and then
No way.
Fartcoin. Yeah, and then Fartcoin, which has fallen off a little bit.
Okay.
Touching on impermanent
You remember
loss.
the first thing I said to do pills and only assets you believe in? Then you just gave 3 shitcoins.
Yeah, but it's like 2 grand in each one, so it's like.
Oh, you're right. You're right. You're
And
right.
Zeus isn't really shitcoin. That's the people I talked to in Vegas. Remember that interview we did with those little Asian guys? They were the nice people. Remember the hot girl that was just a fucking dick?
Oh, bro. I mean,
Well, what
okay,
was it?
fair
What
enough.
was it you said? You were like, "Fuck that bitch. That bitch thinks she's bad."
Bro, you were live stream. You can't say that.
Nah, it's all right. It's all right.
Yeah.
It's all right if it's true. Like we're not slandering. It was truth. She was. What'd she say? Oh, I don't take photos, or I don't do interviews. It's like,
Oh,
well, you're
yeah.
representing a company. Like we thought you'd want to talk about your company, bro. How are you gonna get any business?
Okay, I got a question here as well. So some guy said impairment loss is a big barrier for me. Okay, so let's touch on impairment loss because I'm literally
Yeah.
getting a live chat right now. Choosing a pair for altcoins like Chainlink, AVAX, HBAR, XRP, etc. Okay, let's talk about impairment loss for XRP and Ethereum, right? I mean, we can give a perfect example. We've got a guy, what's his name, Brock, doing XRP Ethereum, right? Is he still doing that? CB Coinbase wrapped XRP and Coinbase wrapped Bitcoin, I think,
Yeah, I
or
believe
Coinbase
so.
wrapped XRP, or he's doing it with Ethereum. I forget what he's doing it with. It's either
I'm gonna take
Ethereum or
your cam
Bitcoin.
full screen. There you go.
Huh?
I was just taking your webcam full screen, so you're bigger.
Okay. So am I sharing
Cool.
screen?
No, not your screen. I was just while you were just talking.
Okay. But you know Brock more personally, right? Let's talk about the XRP and Ethereum one that he has with impairment loss. Okay. Like
Yeah.
he was stacking 4K a week and XRP. Was it XRP or Bitcoin or XRP Ethereum?
It was
Correct.
XRP with Ethereum.
Okay. So let's talk about that pill. Because that's a perfect example of like asset to asset in a bull run, right? So I'm bringing up DeFi.
Yeah, I mean, so let me just switch back to streaming the screen then actually. So when it comes to asset pairs, your impermanent loss is not going to be crazy, right? Because if you are getting converted to another asset, it's going to be an asset that's also moving generally in the same direction. Because most of these assets, they are going to be correlated in that manner. So for example, if you're an ETH and XRP, those are tokens that, let me see if I have XRP on this watch list as well, because you'll see the XRP is down for the day 0.08%, whereas ETH is down 0.2%, right? They both move similar. They're going to be very, very similar coins in price action. So that one makes them easy to keep in a range together, but also while you're getting swapped between the two assets, they're both going to be moving in the same direction. So your impermanent loss isn't exactly what you think it is. Impermanent loss is just the difference at the end of you closing your pool or whatever you would have made versus if you just sold the asset outright, if you were just holding XRP the whole time. And I think something that's important to note too is that a lot of people, they're still holding those long term and they haven't sold or taken profit. So like if we look at Bitcoin, for example, like how many people were selling Bitcoin here at 123? How many sold at 124? And they might say that they would have made more money just holding spot Bitcoin versus a Bitcoin pool, we could just say, like Bitcoin to Ethereum or something. But the Bitcoin pool is actually taking profit and making us money every day, whereas my Bitcoin bags, I haven't sold a single thing. So I haven't actually ever made a profit off that Bitcoin on paper, if that makes sense. Whereas the pools are actually, you're taking a profit home every day, every week, every month, getting that check, which I think is quite nice.
How do you share screen, Parker?
I can just turn you on here real quick. We're going to get better at this, I promise.
Yeah.
Actually, you're not sharing.
I should have control of my screen. I don't
There
want to
you
have
go.
to ask Daddy Parker.
There
Let
you
me
go.
share the screen,
No, it's okay. I like when you ask that.
Okay, so can you see my screen?
Yeah.
So I think we'll all agree, right? I'm actually making a YouTube video here. I think we already made it because most people, I think, want to make this number, right? $3,000 per month.
Yeah.
At least for me, if I was starting out, like, I don't know, what does the average person get paid? 3 to 5K a month? I don't know. In
After
USA,
taxes, probably after taxes, no more than three. The average person.
the average income, the average salary, obviously depends on your state, right? Like my country, Glasgow, is way different than
Average
here.
U.S. income is under 40K a year, 39 in the U.S.
That's crazy. I thought it was like
So
70.
39,900 just divide it by 12. I mean, so and that's before tax. You're making 3,325, and then after taxes, you're making, I mean, bro, what, $1,000 a paycheck? You're making 2K take home.
Really?
Oh, it's bad, bro. I've been there. I get it.
That's crazy. So I thought it was way higher. Like I thought it was like 5 to 6, but I don't
I would say that's survivor bias of who our friends are.
know.
No, but for real.
Your whole goals in pills, right? Is let's just say you have like the perfect example, Brock, right? He had XRP, he has Ethereum, he has Bitcoin as well. But if he's trying to get more coins, like we all believe the 2025 bull run. Yeah, some people are saying 2026 now, right? Early 2026. It changes all the time. But your whole goal in pills is to get more coins to sell for a better 25. At least that's for me, right? That's why I started this new black hole pill that you got me on, Parker, black hole and AVAX, which is more risky. This is not for the faint-hearted, but you do have the advantage of full range, right? So you are being paid in black every day, and you can swap it to AVAX, you can swap it to USDC, and you can do what you want. But if your whole goal is to get more coins, you should do asset to asset that you believe in for the long term, at least for this bull run, and especially number 2 and number 3 asset, like we talked about there, Ethereum XRP. You should stay in range somewhat. XRP will probably outperform Ethereum, but you should stay in range. If it's XRP and USDC and XRP goes to $5 tomorrow, you're going to be cashed out. So
And
that's the
that
price.
impermanent loss becomes a lot more significant in that pool too. Yeah, and you just get cashed out way too early.
Way too early. So there's nothing wrong with stablecoin pools, but I don't know. I just always prefer asset to asset, especially in the market that we're in right now. So to answer your question, Isaiah, is yeah, choose all coins that you like. And you compare against. He also asked, do you have any tips for choosing pairs that share close correlation? Yeah, so I just gave you one. Number 2 and number 3 asset. Although XRP will perform Ethereum, I think that's pretty evident. Don't know about how much. That's what I would do. And you can find that on VFAT, and you can copy Brock's pill if you want. Any more correlations, Parker? I mean, people say Solana and Render, but I just think Oracle pills for me, every time we sign up somebody to our community, they just pay so shit. Well, recently. So I don't know about them right now.
I
But
talked about a correlation on the Saturday DeFi call in our private community there, 10K fast track, and correlation. Anything that is a positive correlation is going to be better than a stablecoin pool because it's going to be easier to stay in range. If you get cashed out, whatever you get DCA'd into, that the more stable asset is, it's going to still move to the upside, which is good. If the market moves down, however, you are double exposed to a downwards asset. So that is the only time that asset to asset is not better. But there are assets that they're not just not strongly correlated, they're divergent, which means they're basically the opposite of correlated. And those usually aren't going to be your typical coins because, as we can see, most of the market on a red day is going to be red. On a green day, most of the market's going to be green. Coins that differ from that, where let's say over a week everything's pumping green, but you have maybe a coin like Arrow or Black that maybe do have a bunch of sell pressure, where they're diverging from the rest of the market. That's something to be wary of because it's going to be super impossible to keep a range on that. Because if you have something that pumps 5% and something that's down 5%, that's going to make your range move dramatically in one direction or the other. So not always the case, but most things, if you're invested in quality assets, they're going to typically move together. You'll have your larger cap coins going to move 5%, and your smaller cap coins going to move 10, 15%, for example, right? Ethereum might pump 3% while Sui's up 5. It's always going to be usually something like that. Speaking of Sui, I have a comment here from Tony. Do you boys use Turbo Finance on Sui? In which Sui DeFi apps do you use? And are there any good DeFi yield farming opportunities? Jake used to use Turbos a lot there.
I used to use Turbos a lot. Our biggest success in Turbos was a guy called Jesse. Remember him?
Oh, shit, yeah.
He was making $1,000 per day on 2 pools. I think he had close to 6 figures in, though, but he was printing 1K per day. And then obviously Sui went on a good price appreciation, so that was nice as well for him to print Sui. I mean, Turbo Finance is good. Just check the APYs. Just obviously check if you're doing Turbo Finance against USDC. There's not really much of a selection, I think, over there compared to VFAT and Orica, right? We used to just use Turbo Finance for Sui and USDC. I've never really used anything else. There's a lot of meme coins on there. I think Walrus is still on there, right? Mm-hmm. So it's not something I want to accumulate, but you could. Let me just check. There's Deep USDC. There's IKEA. I don't know if you've seen that one, Parker. I actually talked about that in one of my videos the other day. This is a complete shitcoin. You could do that against USDC and get over 1,000% if you want. Good luck. But there's not much options there, but it's a nice one. USDC, just check your ranges. And yeah, we used to use it a lot. But again, I don't really want USDC right now. I'd rather do assets to assets. So you could.
Yeah, I'd say for me, I haven't run crazy Sui pools. Like I used to run them all the time. I haven't used them too much lately. How I would play this, one of my favorite sites on Sui right now is Navi personally. And it's a great spot where, like, for example, stablecoins. Look, I'm getting 18% on stablecoins right now. That is insane. That's almost 20% a year off stablecoins. This is actually really good. I should make a video. It's not always as high, but it's looking very attractive. That's 18% off a zero vol asset. That's the holy grail of traditional finance. Okay. Another way that the way that I would be interested in using turbos would be to find a place to lend out my Sui, borrow against it, and use the borrowed money to then enter pools. That way I still max long on my Sui because I want to get that nice appreciation, but I don't want to throw a lot of my spot Sui in this pool right here. It's showing a good APR right now, but from my testing, it tends to be lower than I get on some of my pools on just VFAT, for example. It's something I watch and I'm interested in re-exposing. But a lot of my game on Sui, for example, is using lending sites like Navi to get those max APRs. So most of my stablecoins are in Sui blockchain because the yields are just so much better than anywhere else. At 18% on stablecoins, I mean, I'm making almost 2% a month off just my cash, which is crazy. And so, for example, like the Corvette I just bought, it's like, yes, I took out a loan on it, but I'm taking out that loan. But I'm taking out that loan because I'm making over double that interest over here. So why would I pay that when I can get more cash on my cash? And I maintain my market exposure. So if the market crashes and ETH hits, 1,400 again, I can just throw another 20, 30K in there if I want, whatever.
Smart moves, man.
There's a mouthful.
Yeah. How was that? Yeah.
Dude, it's been fun, bro.
No? Different than the truck?
Oh, definitely. But, no kids and stuff, so it's fun right now and having a good time with it.
All right.
Definitely a looker.
Yeah, I think Alex and Tanner has one as well. There's a blue one, the red one. I don't know if it's the same model, but it's a Corvette, right? Okay. Let's talk about the most important question and the part that I'm going to clip for content. That's why I'm here. Let's talk about how to make 3K a month from Decom, right? I'm going to run through this strategy, Parker, and I want you to chime in and change what you would do different, right?
Yeah.
But as a group effort, what we just discussed at the start of this call, that 3K a month. Now, obviously, we're not including taxes, but 3K a month is pretty much what you get. You said it was less with taxes and income. I'm just saying, okay, 3K is 3K, right? We need to make 3K a month, okay? Because if we're not making 3K a month, you're kind of stuck. Ideally, we scale to 10K per month, and that's really when the game changes. I mean, it's crazy some of the guys we have, right? Like Grant. What was he doing?
1 to 2K a day usually, and the max he's hit is 9K a day.
A lot of people don't
crazy screenshot.
Like a lot of people don't believe like that he made 9K per day.
Yeah, like, I mean they just don't get it. But I mean, he has a lot of money in the game, so it's not that unattainable.
We want somebody to come fucking beat him. So if anybody wants to come and beat him, we'd love somebody because we need a 5-figure day.
He's taking on no risk either. I mean, he really isn't. Today, he opened his first little position in some black hole token. So,
it's funny. Well, I copied you, then I started to talk about it on my main channel. Now everybody's talking about it because of you. So if it goes to shit, I get blamed, but you're the guy.
I tell everyone, I ain't telling you what to buy. Here's just how you do it.
All right, let's take this off. Parker, chime in anytime you want because I think this is going to be super valuable because at the start of this video that we realized that this was bare minimum, right? So imagine if you could add an extra $3,000. So like you've got your job, you're living paycheck to paycheck, which probably what most people do. I don't fucking know, but probably they do that. So imagine if we could give you an extra 3K, right? And obviously you need to be in cryptocurrency in the moment, because if you've got no money, you're not going to be able to make it, right? But chances are people watching this or in the future watching this, you have at least some money in cryptocurrency. We've had many guys do it, of course, and this is my old Brent Ethereum pool. But some of the action steps. So Parker, I'm going to say my first action step, and then I want you to chime in, okay?
Okay.
When you do anything, you need to set a fucking goal. Okay, when you go to the gym, you need to set a goal. When Parker posts a YouTube video, he has a goal. He doesn't just make a YouTube video. Maybe he did before when he was shit at YouTube. Okay, I'm just going to make a video, right? But now he has a plan. He has to do the thumbnail. He has to do the title. Before the shitty stream that we're doing right now, and I promise you it will get better, we had the goal yesterday or a week ago. We're going to start doing a weekly stream. So we set the goal in place. It didn't just come randomly, although it might look like that right now with my shitty quality. But we set the fucking goal, guys. So you have to set the goal. You don't just wake up and go to the gym. Maybe you do for one day, but then you don't go the next day. You set the goal, okay? In this case, the goal is $3,000 per month, because we realized that we can get somebody to make $3,000 per month. Technically, they're free somewhat, but the goal is obviously 10K because they're already making 3K. It's just going to take a lot more stress off you, right? You're not really going to have to worry. I remember when I was in my job at Exercise for Less in East Kilbride, I was probably making 2K, but that was in pounds, so it was probably the same.
Yeah.
I was so fucking stressed because if that job was gone, it was game over. It was fucking game over.
I don't think I was even as I was doing the same thing. I was working at a gym back in the day too, and I don't think I was as stressed as I should have been.
Well, that's. I mean, maybe you had somebody to. If you have somebody to back you up, like I could always go home. I could always go home to my mom, so it was fine a little bit, but I knew that would be so embarrassing. And it's the same in 2021 when I lost all the money in cryptocurrency. In 2022, it's like I lost everything. When Bitcoin went crazy, Ethereum went crazy, how could I lose everything? Because I didn't sell. So I had to go through that embarrassing state of going down to zero again. So, I had the goal, but I didn't execute the goal because my bull run price predictions were so high, but that's beside the point. So you have the goal. And I want to say it's going to be out of reach for some people, but most people, or at least the guys that we speak to, have a current portfolio of $30,000. Would you agree?
Yeah, I'd say that's a big cluster right there, around the 30 to 50K. 25 to 50K, and then there's the people that go over that. It's just anywhere from 100, 200, or a million. It's just all over.
Basically, we have what we've spoke to. We've got 100 members in our group. Now we're not trying to sell you in the group, but we're just saying, okay, what people do we speak to that are doing DeFi? Because when I used to post on my main channel, it's like I can't really speak to these people personally. So I'd say I've collected a piece of data of 100 members. I'd say most of the guys.
Oh, you just dropped, Jake. Oh no, Jake. Yo, Jake, you're gone.
A couple of guys in $1 million. That's what I would say collectively. That most people have probably the 30 to 50K, if I can think in my group, right? Would you agree?
You cut out for a second, Jake. I got you back here though.
Oh,
you were talking about the data set of your 100 members, and then.
Yeah, I would say most people have the 30 to 50K. 25% have less, and 25% have 6 figures or 7 figures. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, if we do the maths there, now this is not including compounding, the average APY would need to be 8 to 10% per month. I always hate doing the maths on this because I keep forgetting there's 12 months of the year now. I try and do like 10%.
I know, you do 10.
You know what I mean? It's fucking so annoying because I see it on a YouTube video one day and it's like 10%. Well, there's 12 months in a year. I'm like, fuck. Okay, I get it. So we set a goal. We know exactly how much we need. And now remember, we don't need 30K immediately, right? As I'm going to show you here. I know I've got a black pill. If this black coin ever goes to shit, rest in peace. But this is what we were doing when we fill up our main bags, right? Then we begin shopping. Okay, this is what you taught me, Parker, back in the day. When you joined my group back in the day, then it became our group. You taught us. This is what you taught us. So you begin shopping. So like, where are you going to go? What coins do you have? So exactly what we had on that comment there from that guy. Izzy, when he was shopping, like, what coins do you have? Just got a comment there from Alexandro. Jake, how much does it cost to join your group? It costs your life, bro, because it shouldn't matter how much it costs, because in the future, it shouldn't matter, right? If you trust us and believe us, just book a free call. So it costs you nothing, bro. Just book a free call. It depends how much your portfolio is. One of our sales guy or me, if I have time, will jump on that call and give you free value. So it costs nothing or the rest of your life. So I hate when people say, how much does it cost? It doesn't matter how much it costs. It matters if you trust us enough that we're showing you this for free. You can do it yourself. And if you want to scale further, just join our group or just book a free call. if I'm lucky enough to get on that call, I'll give you all the sauce for free. And you can decide if you want one-to-one help with me or Parker. Is that too harsh? Sorry, bro.
That was good.
It was good. If you trust us, bro, and you have the portfolio, just book a free call. You can book a free call. You have nothing to lose with a free call. Me or Ryan or Parker, if he's available, will show up to that call and we'll just give you the value. And then if you don't want to join, you don't want to join, bro. But at least you got the free call. But you can learn a fuck ton on this channel on these streams as well. But we really just like systemize it like stuff like this. It's more personal. But get your feet wet, bro. All right, big and chopping. So Parker, we've got some pools here, right? I want you to rate them out of 10. We've got Black and AVAX that we're running. We've got potentially Ethereum XRP that guy's running. Now, obviously, this was screenshots at the current time of recording when I made this video. So, like, don't quote me on this if somebody's pulling up this right now. It's not that serious, bro. It changes all the time. Okay? So, Parker, let's rate the first month. AVAX, Black. Risky. What do you think?
I think it's just important that it's not your whole portfolio just because of the risk that it has. I mean, if you're someone that is already, like, say you already are invested in Aerodrome or Black Hole, and that's like the kind of token you like, say that was your only bag is 15 grand at Black Hole, well, then I would say you need to 100% be doing this. Like, there's just no other question. But if you're someone that has a good conservative bag of other coins, I wouldn't liquidate all your Bitcoin to just max out 15K of AVAX to Black Hole. I would try to keep it under 25 to 20% of your portfolio. And that's max. For me personally, 10 to 15% is a lot of the time, but it just depends on what your goal is. I mean, it really does. It's going to cash flow very well. I would try to get risk-free on it as fast as possible. So if you're making 3K a month, try to at least get that 15K back ASAP and into other quality pools.
Yeah. So again, diversify. I put 6K in this. I think it's worth like 9K right now with the fees I've earned. It's been beautiful. And that's thanks to you, Parker. So thank you very much. But if we're talking about maths and we're talking about 100% in, although you shouldn't do this, you would need $15,000 to hit 3K per month. That's fucking crazy to me. And that isn't including you compounding every single day. That is basic maths if you were to go 100% in and you didn't care. Do not do that. But if, like you said, you already had AVAX and Black, let's just pretend you did before you're looking at this pool, you would need $15,000 to hit 3K per month. So we've drastically took away the portfolio of 30K to 15. Okay, but just understand this is very risky, but it is full range. Option 2 is the Ethereum XRP. Now, this was currently 4% per month, but obviously I'll put here on a 20% wide range too, and assets will go up. E.g., if you earn one XRP today, okay, and XRP goes to $12 in the bull run or $10, whatever, you've considerably made more money because you've accumulated more assets. E.g., if you have XRP, your goal is to start a pool to get 2 XRP, right? At least if you're doing asset to asset and trying to accumulate, right? So what do you think of this pool? $30,000 to get you to 1.5K, but XRP and Ethereum will go up in value in this bull run by 2 to 3 months. Maybe if you compound and you can stay in range, you'll be at 3K per month. Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's overly conservative. I think that is a great income to make off of it. Obviously, it'd be nice to shoot more towards making 3K a month off of that. It's a bit on the lower side for what maybe you could get with 2 asset-to-asset pairs, but it's still very doable, and you should love this position. This position is very good if you believe in these assets. And $1,500 a month is not anything to scoff at. You're making 5% a month consistently. You're maintaining exposure to 2 layer 1 assets that have strong fundamentals, assuming you like both of those assets. I mean, I really don't. I don't see a reason why you wouldn't like a relationship like this.
If you have a bag and you have you're one of those guys that are maybe watching this that have like 300K, this is a no-brainer for you to make 15K per month. Let's say you're a big whale and you're printing, bro. But most importantly, you're getting that extra exposure to XRP and Ethereum if you want to stack. Or you could start that, collect fees, and then you can roll over to another pool. Like, the game never ends. There's many things you can do. You can take the cash flow if you want. Wouldn't do that. Just delete gratification for this pool run. You'll be much better off, I think. So go back in this pool or start some other pools and just keep that flywheel spinning. It never ends. Got here, last pool, AVAX USDC, right? So back here it was 15% range. You can scale this wider if you needed. So just keep that in mind. And this is nice, I wrote, because you're banking free stable coins, which never hurts, which you can put into anything else you want. Plus, you get AVAX that will probably 4x here by the 2025 bull run if you get a similar price to 2021. You're going to need 25K from month 1 to get 3K per month, but AVAX will most likely go up from here. So if you're stacking AVAX, honestly, 15K starting point, you can probably get there in the future. So that's what I wrote. But again, pretty tight range, I would say. For example, I've got a Zora Ethereum pool and it's 85% white. But Zora is I would say shitcoin, although I think it's going to do well, but it's very risky compared to Ethereum. What do you think?
I don't personally have exposure to Zora there. I was reading a couple of YouTube comments that came through at the same time. One of these guys said DeFi is a scam. What do you think about that?
Oh, you know what's let's be real. So, two questions. Why is DeFi a scam? I would love to know why you think that. And we're on this call right now printing fees. So if DeFi is a scam, like we're literally printing fees right now. So tell me, like, not like we're not trying to like throw fucking hands at each other. Like, I would love to know why this guy thinks DeFi is a scam, and then let's try and change his mind. DeFi is not for everybody, though. I will say you're right on that. It's not a scam because like we're making it work, and we have over 100 members. Like if DeFi was a scam, me and Parker would be scammers, and we wouldn't have 100 members. Do you know what I mean? So it can't be a scam. So I would love to know what part of DeFi it is maybe you don't understand. But also, DeFi isn't for everybody. If you're just a hodler, that's fine. The whole reason why I wanted to get into DeFi was because I'm not a trader. I'm a long-term trader, I guess you could say, because I do plan to exit, but I'm not like a trader. It's like a Bobby would be.
I don't get this scam comment because honestly, there's not a lot of ways to lose money in DeFi outside of you pick a bad asset or you go to a bad website and you like actually get scammed. There's not a lot of ways to lose money. There's maybe ways to not make as much money. Like you might not make as much because you set a tight range and you didn't know what you were doing, and then ETH got pumped out of your range or something, right? Yeah, there's ways you might have not made money, but there's not really any ways to lose money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. People that say that, and again, it's no disrespect. We're all grown adults here, but people that say that have either never tried it or they've had a bad experience. Like crypto is a scam, but what about all the guys that made fucking millions in 2021? They didn't think it was a scam. You either got wrecked on a coin, which makes sense. If you would think that, it's like saying anything's a scam. That restaurant was a scam because you maybe had a bad experience and you got food poison, but the guy before had a great pizza and he didn't think it was a scam. So
it's like even at its core level, right? Uniswap. Uniswap is not a scam. It is a business. And what is the model? The model is you get cheap swaps permissionlessly. You don't need an exchange. And then the people that are providing liquidity, so you can, as a service, so you can have that service, they make those little bit of fees. And they're not making egregious amounts like Coinbase, Kraken, Gemini, but they're making that little bit of profit. And so it's literally just a business model. It's essentially like a farmer's market. It's by the people for the people, whatever. And so whether or not you're making a good profit or not, that's up to how you set up your business and how many customers you have. So what kind of asset you're choosing, but it's not a scam. It's Uniswap. Like I'd say that's the biggest DEX in crypto. If you use Uniswap, you're not getting scammed. But if you go try to find some brand new website that's never been around before, that's where maybe potentially you could get scammed. You need to be careful.
I agree. If he has a comment, let's jump in that because I'd love to kind of break some limiting beliefs. So we've set the goal, right? That's the number one. I've just got a comment here. Let me just tackle this right now. What are the ranges? Can you explain it a little bit more? So Parker, you jump in as well. But basically, when you set up a pool, well, this stream's going better than I thought, man. We're actually giving up good value. I thought it was just going to be us talking about how like small your dick was, but we're actually getting into
bro. That's crazy. What the fuck?
Which is, I mean, bro, we're not big enough for people to care, so we don't really need to keep it PG. Like, we're just
you were gonna get banned.
I'm already banned on my main channel. If anybody's coming here from my main channel and like they're wondering, there's so many comments now. My main channel is dead. I cannot post on YouTube. My main channel is dead. It was a fun ride. I never got the 100K plaque. We got very, very close. It is dead. It is game over. I refuse to make gay titles to make YouTube happy. Okay, so I'm not posting on the main channel anymore. It is dead. I will probably run ads to it and then wreck it that way, but it is dead. You will not see another channel unless it's an ad from the main channel. Okay. Anyways, let's talk about ranges before we move on to action step 2, because I don't want to make this stream too long because it's just the first one and we will get better. Okay, so you have ranges, you don't. Okay, so firstly,
to got Kelly in the chat from our group. He's swinging by.
You're wrecking the flow. Good to see you, Kelly. So you have ranges, you don't have ranges. We were talking about the black AVAX one. Again, do not copy this pill. You should do your own research. We have to say that, unfortunately. But, if you want to get rich, just copy the pills. It doesn't matter. So you have AVAX and black, for example. There is no range, right? Parker, you deposit really AVAX. It'll give you the 50 slot, and then you're in the pill, right? You're making the money. You're making 226%. Yeah. It changes all the time. You might check this on the weekend. It might be 100. You might check this on Wednesday. It might be 300. It just changes all the time. It depends how much people are swapping. That's the game, right? So this is an example of no range. we talked about, give me a pool with range like XRP that we just talked about, right?
Yeah.
So you have examples, just to say this Ethereum XRP, right? This is a 7% range. So you have a range here, right? And this is what we talked about permanent loss. Asset to asset are great. Ideally, in the bull run, we stay in range. But like you can see here, if I drastically change the range here, you can see my APR is going down. That's because I'm making it, wider to the downside, for example. Oh, no, that's actually the wrong way around. My bad. You can see the APR changing, right? You can see APR changing. You can see the width changing. Okay. Ideally, when we start pools, we want to stay in range. That's maybe why you had that comment on your channel saying it was a scam, right? Somebody probably started a pool. He went in 1% range.
Way too tight.
Day one, he was making money. And then day two, the tenant was out the real estate property, right? So he didn't make his fees. That's because you had a limited belief on how to do the pools, right? People will say real estate's a scam. I could have said real estate's a scam. I don't like real estate, but I had a property in Hamilton, Glasgow, and I had a tenant in there for 1 month. By month two, she never paid for 6 months. I couldn't kick her out. Real estate was a scam for me, no, because I didn't know how to run a proper real estate business. I had a shitty tenant, I had a shitty manager, and I lost money on that real estate. But how many guys have made millions in real estate? So it depends what you're trying to play and depends how you're down to do it. So that's an example of range to that guy that commented. It's a great example because I'm locked in. But
the coffee be hitting, bro.
What happens if it goes out of range? Well, you're sold to that asset. So again, we talked about full range pools. Ideally, again, if we think about this as a real estate property, okay? If we go about my example, and I forgot her name, but she was an asshole because she never paid me rent. My whole goal is to have a good tenant that pays me cash flow every single month, okay? Month one, month two, everybody's happy, okay? If you come out of range on a pool, well, guess what? You're defeating the purpose. Now, you're going to come out of range one day. It's just inevitable. I mean, it's just inevitable unless it's a full range, right? Your whole goal is to not come out of range as long as possible. You just might as well just hold the asset. So if you have an XRP and Ethereum pool, and XRP goes to the upside, you're going to be sold to that other asset, right? So you're sold to the asset. You don't lose any money like trading if you have Solana USDC, but so you have ranges of Solana 150 and up to 300. I don't even know what price is, but let's say Solana went to 310. You're fully sold out to USDC. So you lose the Solana, but you still keep the same amount of value. The issue is, in a bull run with me, USDC, it's like, well, if Solana goes to $700, you miss on $400 per coin of the price appreciation. Now you're having to buy back in to get in that pool. Okay. So that's maybe why that guy said DeFi pools are a scam. It's because you don't understand that. And maybe you did it wrong. So that's the question or the answer to your question.
Also depends on a lot of things. Like for some people, that's good because that's the first time you've ever actually finally taken some profit. There's people that if Solana ripped to $700 tomorrow would not sell $1 of their Solana. So there are some people where this does work out better for you. So that impermanent loss is very subjective to, do you really think you would have held it that long? Do you really think you would have sold it at that time? There's a lot of what ifs. So usually a lot of this is not, it's not based in true reality because people don't have both. They're not like me. I'm running the long-term bags and the DeFi. So I can actually tell you that this outperformed this because I was doing both. And I can also tell you that this is outperforming this right now because I'm doing both. So it's a little over the place. Depends, on what the market's doing.
All right. Step 2.
Bro.
So we've understood the goals. Okay. Now we need to, decide to go to the gym, decide to do the live stream, decide to take action. Okay. So we aim for, I would say most people join our group and we say, okay, start with 1 to 3 to 2 to 3 pills, right? You're not locking in on 100 different fucking pills. Okay. You're locking in 2 to 3. Okay. And you decide how much you want to go in. Okay. Remember the goal of this video is making $3,000 per month, not tomorrow, not even in a month for the small investors, down the line. Okay. So it's very simple. You go shopping, you find out what platform you want to go and you buy DeFi position 1, DeFi position 2, DeFi position 3. Ideally, you have a portfolio of coins. Okay. Now, yes, there's going to be some people that are just getting into crypto, etc. Then you use those DeFi positions to adjust your coins. But ideally, you have maybe not a portfolio like this, but you have a portfolio one day where you have something like, okay, well, I already had XRP. That's why I did the Brett and Ethereum pool 1 year ago back in Dubai. I wanted to buy the Ethereum I already had and the Brett I already had. And I was like, I think it was you, Park. You were like, well, there's a Uniswap pool here. So I was like, okay, I can just do that to get more Brett and Ethereum. And in fees, it's paid me $48,000, which is pretty crazy. But ideally, Brett and Ethereum does well in this bull run. Don't know about Brett. It's a meme coin, but that was a risk I was already taking, right? So I just wanted to get more Brett, and it never hurts to get more Ethereum for this bull run coming up back in 2024. So ideally, when you're looking at pools, you already have the coins. Unless you're doing what we're doing in Black and Zora, where we've already built up a portfolio for years and years and years, and then we can take a little bit more risk. What we don't want you to do is take more risk and then Black and Zara or whatever coin goes to shit and it's like your whole bull run's wasted, because that would suck, because it's 4 more years of doing nothing again, bar stacking. Okay. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Okay. Action number 2 is you set up the pools. Okay. Well, you have your DeFi positions and then you have your options. Okay. Let's talk about this. This is important. We have 3 options and there's no right or wrong answer. You can compound and stack to get more coins. Recommended. You can use fees to sell for the bull run high conviction plays. Recommended. You can sell fees for cash to live. My opinion, not recommended right now. If you're making $3,000 a month, okay, but you have a job that's already paying you by, and then you start to take out a new mortgage, or you start to upgrade your car like Parker did. Joking, by the way. Bad idea. It's called delaying gratification to get more coins. So then maybe that $3,000, $6,000 from your altcoins, your blue chip coins, 2x. It's almost like the $3,000 you're making right now, for example, is $6,000 in 2 to 3 months prices. Do you know how crazy that is? It's delaying gratification. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree, to be honest.
Nice. you could do this, don't get me wrong, but if you already living $3,000 per month, well, it's just like you're not delaying gratification. It's just like you see an extra 3K of maybe you've got some more Bitcoin, Ethereum, and you're selling that for cash, which is fine.
I don't think you should. I don't think you should cash them out in the real world.
No, you shouldn't, because before DeFi pools, you didn't need it anyways. So you just it's like once you start making some good money, it's like you start maybe making 30K per year, like you said. Now you get 60K per year, but like you're still broke because you just upgraded your lifestyle.
Yeah. If anything, it just means that's less money you need to pull out of your day job into the market, because your market is generating an income for itself. So you don't have to put as much from your active income in, but I still would.
Agreed. So to be clear, there's no right or wrong answer here. It's up to you, but I would say delay gratification a little bit longer. Mm-hmm. And compound reinvesting, very simple. You rinse and repeat this, and this is why you can theoretically go from that 15K, 20K portfolio, if we're talking about 8 to 12% per month, to 30K. Not fast, it depends on what the fees are paying, but that's how you can theoretically get there, because you're reinvesting. Okay, at the start of each new week, month, you could even do it day if you want. Simply did what you did in step 3. Okay, adjust with necessarily, of course, in your ranges. But you build a house. Okay, you have your house, for example, like Brock here making 4K, you have your coins, and then you restack to get more. It's pretty fucking simple. Rinse and repeat.
What'd you use to make this, bro? To make this infographic?
What did I use to make what?
To make all that? Did you just find all the stuff that fit?
Bro,
did you like AI generate some of that stuff? No, that's good.
Bro,
I just like it.
Bro, I'm a good storyteller. This is custom, bro.
Bro.
That's why I got 100K on YouTube, bro. I've got 100K
how did you?
because I'm good at the game.
Is that a font style, or did you use like an iPad to write that shit? Like it looks kind of like
Oh, so like I switched from Miro. I think a lot of guys still use Miro when they show their stuff. No, the problem is you're going to start copying my flow now on your main channel. Don't do this. Everybody will know that you're gay. So I'm going to use now Exodraw. I just like the text, and I like how I can put a background behind it. I like the text. That's why.
Yeah, cool.
And what's also nice is you can have something like where I can go here. If I just type in bull run, obviously I would give it more prompts. So if I'm really trying to explain a point, I can have now a bull run chart. How does a bull run happen? Well, you get start of a bull run, you get initial price increase, you get more confidence, and this is actually true. This is what happens. I will make it better. You get pricing going up, you get media coverage. Oh, we're at 200K Bitcoin 2020, whatever, right?
Then you can customize it all and make it pretty.
So like, I just like it, and that's why I am the best YouTuber in the game. Anyways, what's next? Oh, Elias is here. Elias, can you fix my fucking ad account, bro? Please. My God. Do you believe DeFi is the number one model in crypto in terms of returns when it comes to consistency, risk, etc.? So DeFi is not the number one thing instead of returns because it's probably the safest. But if I come up here, you remember this is a guy in our community called TJ. And I think, did you buy the peasant coin, Parker?
No, I didn't get in on it, no.
I didn't either. I said I was too lazy. But this is the fastest way to get rich. You put a trade on a shit coin and it whatever 100x's. I think he made a 50x trade of George's coin, Crypto RS, Clashes George, right? I don't know if you're on that call. That's the fastest way to get rich in cryptocurrency. The problem is you have to do 1,000 fucking coins to find your one, and most people lose money. For example, Bobby here sold at 5x, which is fine to do so, but most people buy here and it goes to here. Okay, so the fastest way to get rich, although it's not the most recommended, is to find a 100x client. The best way to get jacked to the gym is to take all the steroids in the world, but you're probably going to die by the time you're going to die by the time you're 30, right?
Yeah.
So there's pros and cons to each way, right? So you can choose your poison. But to answer your question, Elias, is do I think it's the number one model? I think number one model is getting in crypto itself. So you have to get in the game, or it doesn't fucking matter. Okay, you have to buy something because there's nothing else to buy. You're going to buy stocks at 20K investor, which, by the way, 20K is a lot of money, right? I think the average person doesn't have 20K, right? Especially in my country. So problem with 20K or 2K is like in stocks, S&P, you're not going to make any money. You're going to be dead. And I don't want to retire by the time I'm 75. I've never wanted to retire, by the way, but I want to make fuck tons of money and do stuff with the money. If I have to wait till 65 to then spend it, I'm good. So crypto, in my opinion, you actually have to get in the game. That's number one. Pools are a great way to get more assets if you have limited funds. Even if you don't have limited funds, it's a great way to stack more coins if you're living paycheck to paycheck because you already have a portfolio. If I gave everybody that's watching this video $100,000 tomorrow, you could theoretically never have to work again if you know how to do DeFi pools. That's the difference. If you have a 100K portfolio, well, you only get income when you sell. Now, let's get rid of taxes by itself, but like you can't live off a 100K portfolio if it's not in DeFi, because you can't. You're going to be just constantly selling the portfolio, and the portfolio is going to go down and down and down, and your coins appreciation, if you're in safe coins, is probably not going to keep up your lifestyle, so it's eventually going to be pointless.
And you better hope you're not withdrawing on a downwards move too, because then you're just extra fucked.
So if I give everybody, well, not even 100K, but if I give everybody 100K, you would never, if you know how to do DeFi, you never have to work a day in your life again. If you played it right, because you have the cash flow, and ideally you're putting that back in, but you're still living off that. Okay. The problem is, if people were making 10K per month, if we look at 8 to 12% per year, they would spend that and they would never grow their portfolio because their lifestyle would just increase. That's the problem. Safe Moon Flash Mac. Yeah, lads, that was funny as fuck. Remember this coin, Parker? What was
I
it,
wasn't
bro?
here for that one, really, to be honest.
Was it this one? Oh, they wrecked their coin. So, correct me if I'm wrong. By the way, Elias, fix my fucking ads, bro. Stop getting on this fucking street. Go and fix my ads, bro. My ad account's fucking banned. It's an absolute joke.
Jake, gotta chat on my end too here, man. How much could you make off a 30K DeFi portfolio monthly if you did it conservatively?
I just told you, bro. Pay attention, young man. No, it depends.
I'm saying another one. It's another one.
It depends. It depends, bro. It depends. If you're, again, this is why we go back to the PowerPoint presentation, and it comes back to
bro. He just hopped in, bro. Chill.
All right, chill, bro. I'm only joking, by the way. Like you set the goal, right? So again, if you come to the gym, you're either going to get jacked, you're going to lose weight, you're going to train for CrossFit, you're going to train to look aesthetic. Like you have the goal, so you can only choose one. You can't be. We can, but you can't be like fat and lean, right? Obviously, that doesn't make sense. But you can't be. You can be aesthetic and jacked, but like there's only a certain point, right? The biggest bodybuilders in the world, like 400 pounds, they're not aesthetic. They look like fucking moon boys, right? But their goal was to get fucking thingy. If you're trying to get strong, you can still be strong and aesthetic. But if you're trying to be the strongest person in the gym, you're going to have to get fat. So you can't choose both. So if you come into the thing with 30K and you say you want to make 3K, but then you want to make 30K, it doesn't make sense. So
he's saying he has 30K. How much do you think he could make conservatively?
Well, that's my point. I'm getting there.
Okay. I was making sure you didn't hear me wrong. My bad.
I'm joking. So how much do you need? Well, it depends what your APY is doing per month. If you're doing 100% APY a month, don't need much. If you're doing 1% APY per month, you need more. So we give the example, if you're in blue chip assets of 30K, how much could you make? Well, what's the goal? If your goal is 3K per month, you're going to need 8 to 10% without compounding. I'll give you 3 examples where you can do it with less if you want to take more risk, although I wouldn't recommend this. That's what I would say. What's your goal and what APY are you looking for? Would you agree?
Yeah, so Josh, just throw us your goal in the chat. Like, how much are you looking to make? What is your goal income-wise? And then we'll give you a little more tailored answers since we're on the live stream together here.
Yeah, do you want to be the bodybuilder or do you want to be the strongest? It all comes down to the same thing. It's the same thing.
Yeah, Tony's asking here too, my favorite lending spots. Again, I'm going to take over screen for 2 seconds. My favorite lending spot is right here on Navi, 18% right now on USDC. It's just absolutely blowing it out of the water. It drops down to 8%. It's just a very consistent spot for me that I'll throw a bunch of cash. I think I have a little bit on Aave just because Aave's big. I think I have, let me see if I pull it up here. Let me also slide Streamlabs out of the way real quick. I have a little bit of stable coins lent out over here as well. It's only 6%, you'll see. So, but it's just for ease of use. I'm keeping it on this wallet, not bridging to Sui. Maybe I'll just be lazy about it. But getting stables to Sui, earning 18% is phenomenal. If you wanted to stick around on Solana, Jupiter Lend is a cool spot right now, incentivized up to 9%, almost 10%. So, nice little spot for cash on cash. Was looking for 2 to 3K a month, Jake. So 10% a month. That's pretty easy to hit in terms of pretty consistent to hit in terms of pools. I'm gonna give you a screen again.
Has he? So he's got 30K in coins, right?
Yeah, he's got 30K, looking for 2.5K a month.
Okay,
I mean,
what
that's
coins does he
something that
have?
happens all the time. I feel like. What coins do you have there, Josh? What's like your current portfolio looking like?
Yeah. So current portfolio, man. I mean, the best thing to do, no hard plug, is just book a free call. Worst case, you get the free value anyways. Book a free call, like either Parker's link or my link, preferably my link, but you can book a free call. Like that's the best case. But like theoretically, if your goal is 2 to 3K per month, you are the perfect fucking client, and you can do this by yourself, and you should do this by yourself first. Get your feet wet, but like ideally you're in blue chip coins, like just the ones we gave you. If you got XRP and Ethereum, if you got AVAX, if you got even Bitcoin pools, like you can do that, man, with the widest ranges possible, and you can make that 5, 6, 7, 10% per month, and your goal. And guess what? By month 2, you compound it. You make what 3.3, and you make 3. What the maths, right? If you're playing the game back in the game again, it all comes back to this little diagram. Is setting up your goals. And this is why this fucking thing is so a thing. Because what do you want to do at certain points? Do you want to compound reinvest? Do you want to build a house, or do you want to take the cash flow out? Doesn't really matter. But like, just have something like this, and you don't need to ask any questions.
I'm going to flash mine up on screen here too. This is one of the wallets. Oops, that's the wrong button. This is one of the wallets that I'm running here currently. Jake's face might be kind of in the way. It looks fine. Let me move my camera real quick out of the way. I'm going to move me down to the bottom right. This wallet right here, 27K. This is the worst month it's probably ever had in terms of APR. It's doing like 63%, so like 5% a month, which is still fantastic. And it's making me $1,500 a month, right? And that's about at 30K. And over the course of the month, I would expect this to increase in performance, get back to its usual. Sometimes when we have low periods, it starts to rubber band even higher, but I run super conservative and lean, right, on a lot of my positions, like my ETHUSDC 25% wide, not a lot in the micro. And a lot of this is just for demo purposes too. So maybe my personal portfolio, if it wasn't so much for showing all different kinds of things, might be more concentrated in something else. But this is a wallet that I demonstrate with on every Saturday very frequently, and just very conservatively, 5% a month, you're making 1,500. So with your 30K, you're already bare minimum over halfway to that 2.5K you want. And I can just tell you from personal experience running this portfolio in this wallet for the last couple months that it's usually generating 2.5 to 3K no problem. So, and that's with the same positions. Just right now, volumes are just looking a little low. It's just low right now. It's just what it is. It's the timing of the call, timing of when we record, go live, and so and so. Just like how, for example, Grant in our community, it showed he's making $9,000 one day, and that's because it was a very high volume day, and that's what he was making. Just like we're having low volume right now.
Yeah.
So Jake, I'd say 8 to 12 is very common in our group.
Yeah. And again, the 8 to 12 could be less than some, right? So let's say you have 4% on some pools, but you're also running the AVAX Black, and that's like 200%. So you get that sum average, So.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you put 10%, if you put 10 grand out of your 30 grand in AVAX to Black, and it's making you almost 1% a day, yeah, you're cooking.
Yeah.
You'd be making let's see, daily. Multiply that by 10, $100 a day off that one, pretty much.
Yeah.
Off that one alone. So just 15 grand in AVAX Black will make you, your 3K a month. But you had that on your stream already, so on your little sheet there.
Yep, I'm logged in. So
he said appreciate it.
No worries. That's how I would make 3K per month in DeFi. Okay, that's what I would do. And here's the thing I want to leave you with. If nobody else has any questions, Parker has nothing, I'll just leave this here because I'll forget. If you can make 3K a month in crypto, you can make 6K a month. Okay? So like that doesn't mean you can make that the next day. I'm talking about the guy that is watching this video that has 60K in his portfolio. Okay? The guy that has 90K in his portfolio can make 9K per month. So it's the same game. If you learn how to make 10K per month, 1K per month of X portfolio, you can make 10K per month for the guy that has more in his portfolio because it's the same returns, right? Charlie Munger once said that the hardest goal is the first $100,000. Okay, then the game gets quite easy. If we're not talking about DeFi itself, just think about this in logical terms. For the guy that buys the 10x coin, okay, with 100K, I know it's big. Some people, it's unfathomable. People do this all the time. He makes $1 million. For the guy that does the 10x on the same coin with $100, he only makes $1,000. It's the same work. The guy makes 900K more profit than you made $900. You made $900 of a beautiful 10x play. He made $900,000. So the hardest part is getting your first 6 figures in any sort of investment. And then the most important thing is to not lose it, like I had to do, and re-fucking start and create a business again, which sucked. But that's what I would say. It's the same game. So that everybody's goal, it's maybe not possible for some people this bull run, but in life, if you can just get to 6 figures, the game becomes easy and invest in money and you've already got income. That's what I would say. And I'm sure for you, Parker, your life's changed as well once you got 6 figures, right? You realize that you don't have to chase shit, you know?
Yeah, no, I mean, and it hits different too when you lose your first, just like we were talking about too. I mean, it's so scary.
Yeah.
I'm going to drag my webcam down here again so you guys can see. But another example, talking about how, your first 100K is the hardest. Here's an example portfolio with $3,500, where that is making me 10% a month. It's making me $350 every month, where it's like, if this was 30 grand, this would make you $3,500 every month. If this was 50 grand, you'd make 5K a month. If this was 100 grand, you'd make 10K a month doing jack shit, right? Like where you're literally just printing money. So when you're starting at the bottom, maybe you do want to take a little more risk. Getting your first 10K in crypto should be the goal, and then keep scaling from there. But when you're down there, you got to go in some maybe a little more speculative stuff. Still a strong foundation in Bitcoin to AVAX here, but we have like the Aster coin here, which is actually only doing 60%. But then we also have AVAX to Black, which is doing a nice 220% APR. Tony's asking, are you cheating the black rewards and swapping into USDC when you earn the daily rewards in the black hole pools? Honestly, I let them kind of pile up in the earn tab, and then it depends on the goal. If I'm doing a weekly call on Saturdays, sometimes I'll save my funds for that so I can demonstrate like, here's how you claim, for like newer guys, claiming, repurposing, bridging. It gives me money to use on the call, on the stream. But if you think the market's hot, swapping into USDC, very, very good to do, good habit to build. If you're long on the market still, you can take it in AVAX, swap it into Ethereum, Bitcoin, whatever it is you want. That's the thing that me and Jake like to do, is not hold your hands so hard we're telling you what to take, but like, hey, we're making you this money. Here's what you're earning. You're earning in black hole. What do you like? What do you want? Do you want more black hole? Do you want to compound it into the pool? Do you want to buy your long-term Bitcoin and hold that forever? Do you want to stack stable coins and wait for a giant dip to come along like we had in April? There's no right or wrong answer, and whoever's more right will just depend on what happens. And then if you actually act upon that situation as it comes up. So there's so much theory in crypto and DeFi that we won't know till we get there. Is it the right answer? We're not going to know till it happens. So the best thing you can do is just to be a good steward of your money. Keep using your money to grow more money, and don't lose your money. Don't give it back to the market.
I agree. Anything else you want to talk about? I was
going to ask you.
Beautiful stream. I think somebody asked, you can do one more question.
Yeah, see if you have any questions.
I have one more question, unless somebody asks a fire question, we'll end it after this question. Has to be a good question.
Why'd you just angle on the camera so hard, bro? I saw that.
What?
Bro, I saw you look at the camera like that.
I mean, bro, I can't even see myself. I saw my screen. So, Isa, it's also, bro, you've seen this thing as well. I know this is going random, but like XP on the chat. What does XP mean? They get XP?
Oh, for being like active commenters and stuff, probably.
Do they get money? Like, can we give them money?
I think they get badges and stuff. Like Tony's the number one. Tony and Josh are competing for number one.
Can we give them money though? Like, do we get to give them money from the ad revenue?
Maybe.
Like, they don't give a fuck about the badges, bro. What the fuck? They're grown men.
Yeah, but then they come back to stream and they're number one viewer. So.
Okay. Anybody comment below? Would you rather get money or be number one viewer with a little cute badge? Fuck's sake. You'd rather get money to put in DeFi to make more money.
Tony said he's going to book a call as well. So Tony and Josh are locked in.
All right. Book them on my channel because it's better. You might get to speak to me. You might not. But
all right, read your comment.
We got a comment here from Isa. You'd rather have money. Parker's wrong. So Isa asked one last question. Can you show us an example? This is for you, Parker.
Okay.
How to adjust the ranges to minimize impermanent loss. Can you show us an example?
You want like the simplest version, or you want more autistic.
ChatGPT speak to a reading age of 12.
Reading age of 12. Reading age of 12 is going to be that the wider you go, the less impermanent loss you're going to have. And the reasoning,
Can you show us an example?
Yes, I'm going to show you an example off of Miro real quick.
If anybody ever sees Parker do his calls on Exodraw, you know he's a pussy.
Wait, where the fuck is my shit? Hold up. What? Is it gone? I literally had this all set up. There's no way. No, I know, but oh wait, there's just a little spot down here. This will work. Remember this? You like this, Jake? Remember this?
Why is your shit black? That's cool, bro.
I just changed it. Okay, so this is going to be a quick little classroom setting, very autistic, but essentially, impermanent loss is just the difference between if you were holding the asset itself or if you're in a pool, right? So if you're holding, let's say you bought Ethereum at $2,000, and right now, for ease of explanation, it's worth $4,000. You will have doubled your money. So if you were in a pool of, let's say, Ethereum to USDC, no matter how wide you are, at some point you're getting cashed into USDC. So impermanent loss is what you actually made versus if you just held Ethereum by itself and then you sold it at this price, you would have made this much more. So it really depends on a lot of just exactly what the market may do, how long you're in range. Because if you're in range long enough that you're making more money, if you're making 10% a month, maybe losing out on the extra 30% on ETH is worth it. You're still coming out ahead. And this also depends heavily upon, let's say, like in this example down here that I'm about to show you, that you actually sold all your ETH at $5,000 ETH. So essentially, I'm about to get real autistic real fast. When you're setting a range, let's say this red arrow is your active price in a range of a pool. Let's say the bottom of your range is 4K, the top is 5. Whatever range the price is currently at, everything below it, let's say in this example, is Ethereum. So, sorry, everything above it. I'm going to start over. So, when you're opening a pool, you're dividing ETH and USDC all in this pool together, and this is the current price. Everything above the current price is still ETH, and it's exposed to price appreciation. So, as price is pumping, these little buckets, as ETH moves its way towards 5K, slowly get converted into USDC, and the opposite is true on the way down. So the wider your range is, let's say it's 6,000 up to 6,000, you're going to literally hold more spot ETH for longer as price moves up because this arrow is going to travel just a lot farther. Whereas the tighter you make your range, let me fix this back to 5K real quick. The tighter you make your range, let's say you get a 2% wide range on ETH USDC, you're literally going to have 2 ticks. And then once price moves over here, now, boom, you're holding 100% USDC. You didn't make any money on the way up. And the opposite is true on the way down, where you're just going to get instantly converted into all Ethereum. I feel like I'm really explaining that very bad, actually. Jake, can you take over at all? Put it in the layman's terms there.
If that was good enough, let me know. But, ideally, you're not trying to adjust the ranges if you can. Sometimes you might just, like, for example, Jesse, when he was making 1K per day, I'm pretty sure he just took the price appreciation. He's fucking Invisalign. I'm not even wearing them. I'm pretty sure he took the price appreciation of Sui when he was making 1K per day, and he got sold out because I think he was buying at 70 cents, and I don't know what his top range was. Let's just say it was $2, $1.50. Doesn't really matter. So he got priced out to USDC, which is fine. I don't know what he did with the free, so he probably banked that, and then he didn't we can't really do that in Turbo Finance anyways, but then he went to Solana pools, right? So he just took the thing. He didn't want to buy back suit like $3, whatever it was back then, and then he jumped to Solana pools and he took his money elsewhere.
Rotating.
Yeah. Do you recommend full range pools for beginners? It's no right or wrong answer. If you can find a pool, chances are you won't. What I recommend everybody to do in their portfolio is look at their portfolio they have currently right now. So Julian, what I want you to do right now is look at your portfolio you have right now. Look at the dollar value. Look what we talked about with average APYs on safe coins. Do that. Do the maths realistically. Then go back and watch the start of this video with your 5 action steps, okay? And you're getting a little bit more technical, which is good. So then what I would do is I would go back to step 2 or step 1, start shopping. So we've already discovered you want 2 to 3 pools when you start up. Well, you've probably got 5, 10, 15 coins in your portfolio. I'm just guessing if you're a reasonable, safe man. I've actually got like 19 right now because, as you you probably agree, Parker, as you get in the game, you start to buy more coins. Like, okay, we'll take a little risk on this one. Like I've just added
Yeah.
Black and Zora in the last 2 months. I said I was done on new coins, but I've just added two more because
Too tempting.
too tempting, right? And again, I'm just using it is what it is, right? But if you're brand new, you said you're a beginner because you said for beginner, so I'm guessing you're a beginner. Is you don't have 19, 20, 21 coins. If you do, you better have a lot of fucking money, and if you don't, you've got like $10, $100 on each one, right? You get the point. So it's really not advertisable. So do I recommend full range pools? Well, I recommend you go and look at your portfolio and like set the goals. If you can find full range pools on solid assets that pay good,
Yeah, there it is.
Do them.
The problem is,
yes,
yeah, when you're finding full range pools, the only full range pools that are going to pay well are on riskier assets, and that's for a good reason. Because anyone that could get a full range Bitcoin pool, for example, and make decent money is already doing it, and they're doing it so heavily that the yields on that probably have dropped to like 3% a year. So you're just not going to make a ton of money because so many people want that safety. So you have to go down the risk spectrum, and so you're either going to have to be tightening ranges to make good money or finding riskier assets essentially. And that's something like where if I switch the screen.
Parker, how many live viewers do you have right now?
4 on mine.
I see 2 in yours.
Oh, the dashboard says 4, but it might be 2.
I have 21. So my small channel is more famous than your big channel.
Oh, your face is more famous, man.
Oh, no worries, Julian. Julian like that. Bro, imagine when we get super famous again. We're gonna like never end these streams because I'm too nice of a guy. When I see a question, I want to help everybody out. So like when we get like 1,000, 2,000 viewers, if I was to do this on my main channel, it's obviously dead. Once we get both big on these channels, we're actually never going to we're gonna have to live stream the whole day because like when I see a new question,
Streamathon, man.
I don't want to leave. Because it's like if I'm asking that question when I used to watch these videos back in the day of just even crypto, and I was like, oh, he didn't like me. So it's like we're never going to leave streams, bro. It's over.
Yeah, no, I like helping people. I mean, that's obvious. We've done the same thing. You know, people book calls with us, and we end up being there for 3 hours on accident. It's supposed to be a 30-minute call. It's like, oh man.
My goal is just to make 5 to 10% of my coins per month and stack more coins. Okay, you've already got the perfect goal. So that's there's goals. So go back to the start of this video. Step 1. I asked the range question because I looked for a few in VFAT and didn't see anything about range. Yeah, so I don't know if you can you filter that in VFAT? I've never checked that.
Yeah, so I'll actually kind of show you how this works. So let's just simplify things down. I'm going to click farms. My screen's lagging a little bit, and I'm also going to move my camera again. We're going to get better at this live stream, guys, I promise.
Maybe.
I promise we'll try to get better. So when you're searching, there's lots of filters here on VFAT, for example, right? So first off, you can simplify things like chain. Let's say we just want to play on AVAX, keep things simple, okay? And then you have protocols, which is where you can choose the actual site that the liquidity is on, because remember, VFAT is just an aggregator. It's a nice hub to keep everything in one place versus actually going to Uniswap and all these other places. And then you have farm types, okay? So we have volatile pools, which are going to be volatile is your full range. That's where it's just an asset versus an asset. And it's going to keep the value of those assets 50-50 at all times. That's how they stay in range. You're going to have, and then your other main one you're going to be using is going to be concentrated, which whenever that loads, hopefully I'm not crashing. There we go. Concentrated is what you're going to be using to actually set up your own ranges. So anything under the concentrated tab, when you open it up, let's just say it was like Bitcoin to AVAX, for example, as I have one of these open, you come in here and you're actually going to set your range, the range that you want. And when we go back to the volatile, you'll see that on the volatile here, when you try to click it, you literally just choose how much to deposit and then it goes in because there's no range to set. So full range pools are the least maintenance you'll ever do. You literally just open it, and I've shared before on my channel just Aerodrome, right? When I first bought Aero back in the day, it was probably up here around $1.25 to $1.50, and it's below that price still right now. But because I've been full range, no maintenance, making APR every single month, it still makes me over $500 a month off that initial investment, and I got risk free a long time ago. And it's just no matter if price is down at 30 cents or if it's up at $2.50, I just keep making money, and it's been very consistent. I don't have to even think about it. It's just been very, very consistent. I think the yields in that are down right now, but Black is the new Arrow on AVAX, right? It's the same exact format, same exact style DEX and token. So it just depends on if the popularity remains the same or if it can edge out Arrow at all. So Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
That was a good stream. A lot of good questions. Our goal is to get every single stream more views. So if you like this video, do us a favor, like it. If you want to share it with a friend that's interested in crypto and like they're, you're starting to learn this DeFi stuff, it's always better to do it by a friend. So if you have anybody to share it with, do it. And if you're looking at DeFi but you haven't took action, go back to the start of this video and go through the formula I gave you. If you want one-to-one help, book a call with us. But I would just say get started. A lot of people in cryptocurrency, like if you remember everybody watching this video right now, even you, Parker, even me, like our first step was like, how do we buy crypto? If that's Coinbase, that Binance, if it's Kraken, and that was super difficult right now. But now we laugh at that. So now it's like DeFi seems super difficult. Well, it's just the same thing. It's about taking the action. Okay, downloading a MetaMask, downloading a Rabi wallet, downloading a Sui wallet, whatever, a Phantom, and then just doing your first pull. Do $50, do $100. See your little $1 come in the next day and say, okay, this is fucking real. Maybe take that one, cash it to your bank account to actually see it fucking being real. And once you get that proof of concept, you can make $1, you can make $10, you can make $100, you can make $1,000. You can just keep scaling. So that's it.
Locked in, man.
I'm locked
DeFi
in.
change. Oh, Ryan Little, DeFi changed my life. He said, "Yo, W, W's in the chat."
Yeah, so Ryan's like literally, one of our guys that you will speak to if you want, or me or Parker. So if anybody likes to book a call, you can do that. Now, we're not trying to do anything like that crazy, but if you want to take this further and get one-to-one help, what we talked about, do it. If you don't, there's no hard feelings. Just fucking do it by yourself and get some feedback. And then maybe make 3K a month, maybe make 10K per month, then come to us if you want more customer formula. That's how Grant made 9K per day. That's how Brock's making 16K per week. That's how we're making 10K plus per month. And you can do it yourself, or you can do it with us. There's no right or wrong answer. Just fucking do it. Okay.
If you started.
Just get started. Go to the gym. It's hard to do it the first time, but you fucking do it. And if you want more custom help, you buy a personal trainer. You don't have to buy a personal trainer. You just decide if you want to fast track it or not. It's very simple. How do you track your taxes in DeFi? Last question. You moved to Thailand. I don't know. I don't know.
It's very dependent on your country, state. Yeah, anything. So, I mean, even if you're in the U.S., different states have different laws. So it's just going to be – it also depends on your opinion on taxes, I guess.
Yeah.
But if you're going to track, there's lots of services like CoinLedger, Coinly, CoinTracker. And again, depending on where you're from is going to depend on what is the best for you, because that's something that it's very specific to where you live. And like if you live in the UK, USA, I can't tell you shit.
Yeah, if you live in USA, I would get that shit locked in. If
you're in Australia, you gotta ask somebody else.
Yeah. But
if you're in Dubai, you're chilling. Just keep making money.
Yeah, I thought they're 4%. I don't know if that's on capital gains. I'm not
really
sure. But this is income though, right? Really.
My state actually just dropped capital gains on crypto.
He's in USA, bro. So yeah, do Coinly, or like even if, bro, if you can, there's many channels out there. I'm not saying you can do this, but if you can pay somebody $100 for their time, if that's somebody on YouTube, like people are always scared to invest like $100, but if he can save you $10,000, $1,000, it's worth $100 just to get a blueprint. Coinly is great, but if there's guys out there that specify in this, like we do in DeFi, it's worth paying the price to go and find that guy for $100, for example, that can save you thousands.
And then he's your guy, whereas Coinly's not your guy. Coinly is you're a number to Coinly. Whereas if you have your own tax guy who specializes, like, that's chill.
Just pay somebody for an hour that's a specialist in cryptocurrency income / capital gains, and just pay him for an hour and just ask him the questions you have. And like,
Ryan Little, what's the biggest risk with liquidity pools?
The biggest risk is not being in them, Ryan Little. How dare you? No, we've talked about that, bro.
Yeah. The biggest risk is the assets you're choosing.
Yeah, which shouldn't be a risk if you're playing cryptocurrency the right way.
Yeah, if you're liquidity pooling stuff that you already believe in and hold, then your risk level doesn't change.
You know what's funny? I think Ryan joined your stream instead of mine. That's so disrespectful, isn't it?
Bro, he's subscribed, bro.
He's on your channel, but not my channel.
He subscribed, bro.
He's a dead subscriber, bro. He doesn't watch.
All right, here, Ryan. I'm gonna pay you. Here you go, Ryan.
All right.
Get to making money.
Yep. Goodbye. How to end the stream?
Want me to end it? All right, GG boys. Again, you can check out our YouTube channels if you have any more questions. Might have the content sitting on there that you could watch whenever you need. And if not, we will see you same time next week, probably, Jake.
Yeah. We have $1,000 bet. Let's do this right now. So
Ryan said, "What happens to them in the bear market?"
Oh, bro, we can talk about that later. Next question. We'll do that next. Look, that's the title for the next video. We're going to be here all day. So, by the way, guys, if me or Parker don't show up, $1,000 goes to the other person or something else. Okay, so we will be here every single Monday for my time at 7 a.m. I know we were late this time, but the setup was an issue. We will be here every single week. Okay, or somebody has to donate $1,000. So we will be here. I will be here.
Do we donate $1,000 to like the #1 fan in the chat?
Ooh.
Or who does it?
I mean, I would rather have $1,000 to start another pool, but we can do that if you want.
Bro, we could random gen from like the comments.
Oh yeah, we should do that.
Random gen.
But I'll never have to donate because I'm coming here every single week. There's no way.
Or we can just give it to someone in our group that needs money.
But they don't because they're